The federal eviction moratorium has expired, meaning there is no more protection for people behind on rent.
Now, some say this is the beginning of a crisis within a crisis. Jay Malone with the Texas Gulf Coast Area Labor Federation joins us live. Jay, good morning. What's the situation here in the Houston area? Do tenants have time before they can legally be evicted? And do you know how many eviction cases are scheduled this week?
Yeah, so renters in our area have been struggling since March of last year because of the pandemic. Tens of thousands of working people have lost their jobs or lost hours. Workers in hospitality, entertainment, conventions, these folks saw mass layoffs. And the crisis is ongoing. That's why we've been doing so much to do what we can to help people. Union members from IATSE, Local 896 and 51, union painters have been working to help people. And that's the reality. Even though the eviction moratorium has expired, there's still a lot of help available to people to keep them in their homes.
Well, let's talk more about that help, because I know that we've got people's attention now. So we know that Congress is saying, you know what, we're going to work out a deal, but people are panicking about what about right now. So here in the Houston area, what can people do if they are desperate right now?
So there are two really important programs for renters in Houston and Harris County offering recovery assistance and rent relief. Harris County is offering $1,500 grants for emergency expenses like rent, electricity, car payments. Go to harriscountyrelief.org and make sure that you apply immediately, because the deadline to apply is August 11th for that program. For renters who are struggling, you can go to houstonharrishelp.org. That's where you can find rental assistance that can pay rent back to the beginning of the pandemic and up to 2 months forward.
Okay, so with the moratorium expiring, Jay, do people need to catch up on past due rent? And is that something they can negotiate with their landlord?
Yeah, one thing that everybody should know is the first thing that you need to do is go to talk to your landlord. As soon as you are worried about falling behind on your rent, you're worried about not being able to pay, go to your landlord and try to work out a deal, and make sure that you're recording all of your conversation. The other thing is, remember that there is free legal aid available to people. You're always better off going to court with a lawyer than not. If you need a lawyer, go to stoptxeviction.org, or contact South Texas College of Law or Houston Volunteer Lawyers. They can help you to make the most of the law and the legal protections that still exist.
Well, it's a relief to hear that some help is available out there. But that being said, for someone who's received an eviction notice, or maybe they will get one, what do you recommend they do? Because that has got to be a really scary situation.
It's one of the scariest things that people can experience. Important thing first is, remember, there's a difference between an eviction notice and a notice to vacate. Notice to vacate means that the legal process hadn't started. So as soon as you get a notice to vacate from your landlord, you need to reach out to them immediately and try to find a deal that you can make to stay in your home. Also, I want to tell everybody that's listening, we do have an event today where you can applying for these programs. We're going to be at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716 Hall, 1475 North Loop West, from 3 to 7 p.m. It's an incredibly stressful thing to go through an eviction, to be worried that you're going to lose your home. And we know how difficult that can be. So that's why we're coming together to get you help applying for the assistance that you need. We'll also have lawyers on hand that can help walk you through any legal options that you may have.
And Jay, a landlord can't just kick you out, right? I mean, they have to go through basically the pre-pandemic rules and present you with a notice. They can't just shut off your utilities. That would be illegal, right?
That's illegal. And there's a lot of things that happen to people that are illegal. That's why it's so important to reach out to attorneys. But the landlord will first post a notice to vacate on your door. That means that the legal process has essentially started. They then have to go to court and set a court date. After that, a judge will issue a ruling. And if they decide that you do need to leave, then they'll issue what's called a writ of possession. But that process takes some time. And know that in the meantime, there's free legal aid available. There's rental assistance available that can pay your back rent and make sure that you have the protections that you need. Just because the eviction moratorium has expired doesn't mean that you don't have options. Everybody has options to stay in their homes.
And it sounds like this help will come for some time, because you mentioned you've got to get that application in by next week. But any idea how long this help will be available, or when anything and with Congress might bust, where they might say, hey, here's some more help?
So Congress and the Biden administration passed the American Rescue Plan recently that allocated $915 million to Harris County and over $600 million to Houston. That's not just rent relief, but part of it is going to rent relief, and some of it was recently injected into the program. So we're talking about tens of millions of dollars that are still available for rental assistance. The recovery assistance, that application is due by August 11th, but the rental assistance is still going to be available afterwards. So if you need rent relief, you can apply after August 11th. The deadline is not August 11th for that program. So make sure that you get your applications in. And again, if you're having stress, if you're experiencing stress and anxiety, come out to our event today from 3 to 7 p.m. at the IBEW Hall at 1475 North Loop West.
Okay, Jay, we appreciate it. You can get help by going to that location today. Good information for all of our viewers. We know a lot of people had questions. Thank you for coming on Houston's Morning Show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.